So the discussion topic and the topic given to this panel is about futurescaping and how the retail story, in particularly in offline retail, will look like if we take a countdown up to 2030. So in the next 8 to 10 years, what we will be talking about is, and the good thing is that we have a very diverse panel of speakers, each representing a very different category of retail, and two different real estate development partners, one representing a mall and one representing transit retail. So we have a very different panel of each representing a different category and a different product category specifically as well. So I think it'll be good to draw up the knowledge from each of you to understand how you're changing the retail scape. Very interestingly, before we were just coming inside, Mr. Singh was just showing a picture of a store which his global CEO noticed on the Terminal 2 in the Mumbai airport. Sorry, can I request the people who are in the middle, please, if you don't mind, to have a conversation outside or let us... Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry. So he was showing a picture of a store, and it looked great. It looked like huge, big frontage store. I said, wow, such a big store. He says, Pankaj, it was just a wall with an 8 feet depth. So retail today is, what we're talking about is different conceptualization. There is no set formula. And I think till 2030, this formula is going to continuously change and going to change very, very dramatically. And this formula will keep changing and the mold will keep changing as well. Like, I remember, Sahil, we were talking about stores at one time of 5,000-6,000, then we went to 20,000, then we came to 12,000. We're talking about even 6,000. And every 2 or 3 years, these store changes. Same thing with Arif when he was looking at the category. So my discussion point with all the panelists will be really is to draw up their experiences, how they're looking in their own category. To start with you, Mr. Singh, you represent one of the most iconic brands in travel retail. Anybody who wants to buy first things of buying into travel retail is a preferred choice. They may end up buying something else, but the first brand which comes to the mind is Samsonite. Tell me from a Samsonite's perspective, how is the retail journey changing and how are you seeing the travel business changing, particularly from your retail stores perspective, your consumption perspective? What are the consumers looking at it? I don't remember a couple of years back having a store on an airport where people will buy let's put it in a very crude form, a suitcase. Because you already packed your bags. But I'm sure there is a reason why you're putting it there. So how is the retail journey changing for a brand like yourself, and what do you see by 2030?
When I approached airports for a retail store, exactly the same question came from them, saying that if the customers have already come with the bags packed, what the Samsonite will add value there? Because nobody would like to carry too many bags. And therefore, I kept trying to convince them that, see, beyond the bag, this brand offers certain lines of products which customer may need it during the travel. For example, somebody has done a shopping and he finds a little extra set of shopping bags, wants to make it organized, he will buy a bag and just get it checked in. Somebody may pick up a backpack, maybe a travel lock, maybe the eye mask, maybe the shoulder pouch, or maybe the sling. But they were not very happy to, dedicate a location for somebody who is known for luggage, and he's trying to bank upon a location by selling something called accessories. So they were not primarily convinced. But when I opened up the first store, even I did not imagine the sales will happen to this great extent. 300 square feet of a store started to deliver a business of 40 lakh rupees a month. And that was a mind-boggling number even for us. So our mind got open towards one more area of opportunity, that is basically catering to the customer's need, which is not programmed and pre-planned. So luggage is not the only business. And therefore, we started to get a very different kind of proportion. The travel accessories, they contribute to 60% of our sales at the airport store, whereas in the shopping mall, the travel accessories get restricted to not beyond 20 to 22%. So every scenario, every opportunity of retail provides a different kind of a SKU management. And it's no longer one standard formula and a benchmark, and you create a store and you're on with it. So a lot of technology is coming into the picture now for making the SKU management by replenishing it very efficiently, because you can't have a blessing to have 1,000 square feet of a store and you have, 5x or 6x of stocking. So very efficiently you do manage in a very small size, and therefore where we get into the, we seek the help of the technology and the various softwares. We are blessed with the international company helping us to do all that. And as I've told you, in every scenario, every location, the formula changes. So it's not an easy retail that you just put certain set of products and it's just start to sell and you replenish. So that is where we are.
So you're saying is that in future, there will be new locations or model strategies for retail which will come up, say in travel retail per se as well?
Yes, yes. It will not be restricted to any particular formula of a size of a store, but it will be depending upon where are we placed, and accordingly we will have tailor-made a store. So, like for example, I narrated about airport retail, and if at all I talk about a high street store, I go for somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000 square feet of a store. So every location will have a different approach and different SKU management. And with the help of the technology, we are trying to manage it in a manner that we are able to take care of the future growth of the brand in the country, which is very, very rapid, very rapid.
And so coming, taking a point from you and coming to you, Sahil, Mr. Singh mentioned about that technology is going to be the main key factor driving the growth of the next stage retail stores for them. And there is no set formula in saying this is the store format size, cookie cutter, which we used to earlier all have, we used to have a stencil, which used to say, oh, electronic store, this is the format, this is the location, this is the format we will do, and this is the kind of sales which will end up. So I think that stencil is gone, which according what I could gather from Mr. Singh. But in the electronics category, where technology anyways is playing a big role, how are you seeing the change which is going to happen in technology stores? Because the product is very commercially standardized, because say a TV is made by Sony, LG, X, Y, and Z. And today, don't go to a physical store, expect that I will pick up the TV and get it home. Because the sheer size of the product is so large, or a washing machine, or a fridge, or whatever it might be, except a mobile accessories or a laptop, right? Then how is the role of a store and a physical store changing in that scenario? And how do you see the store will look like as we go forward?
See, if we talk about today the CDIT business, what we are into, today everybody is carrying a store in their pocket. If you really see, there are a number of websites, which anyway, I think most of our have shopped and shopping from those things. So in terms of the technology, it is an integral part of our business, if you say. So second thing, what I say in case of CDIT, till probably I would say, if like earlier it used to be before DC and after DC, that is pre-COVID and post-COVID. So if you see pre-COVID, and what we used to say that electronics is more of it's not a necessity, it's more of the luxury, and it's more of like you want to have it. But today, that scenario have completely changed. It have moved from luxury to necessity. Earlier, having a mobile or having a tab, having one laptop was minimal. Today, like most of us have multiple laptops at home, multiple mobiles with you. So that technology in terms of our needs are changing. Coming to the stores, so when you are going to a technology store, you always want it to give something better. So if we see the way we have evolving our format, so we used to be first store was 16,000 square feet. Then we started opening 20,000, and then 5, then different size. Today, some technology is playing a key role in defining the size. Okay, so it's wider than the store. Today, how do you enable the technology to give a better experience and a better range to the customer in the same size? How do you really, so it's been quite long, people are talking about omni-channel. Technically, if you talk today also, it's very tough to really create an omni-channel. People say, yes, I have a very good .com, it's doing extremely well. I have a very good store, it's doing extremely well. But are there still any omni-channel established? In our case today, for any brand, any journey, technology is everywhere. Starting from locating the store, then searching what you want to buy, then you buy, then delivery, then customer service, installation, you talk anything and everything. At every stage, there's a technology is there. The only point is this, how do you enable it? Like in our case, if I say we are using technology to optimize the space. By like we have recently, if cutting down our billing counters and bringing it on a MPOS. Okay, so we are using our technology to cut down the time to do the billing. Earlier it used to take 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So now we are saying within 5 minutes you can cut it. Second, you have asked for some product, it is delivery is happening. Lifetime tracking of those deliveries. So technology is adding value everywhere. So it's now the necessity. Today somebody says, yes, I bought a product from a store or online, but I don't know when it will get delivered. So it's not a good experience. So technology is filling that gap. So today technology is not a luxury, it's a necessity. If you don't upgrade your stores or anything on the technology, like you are literally going to left behind.
Sahil, but one is, we all talk about technology is using technology to make the customer experience better. What about the technology to use in terms of how you're doing your inventory management with that? Will that change? Because you see these big giant warehouses coming up across now in the city outskirts, and deliveries, customer expectations with online now coming in and changing, where we're talking about groceries getting delivered in 15 minutes, and Amazon trying to say delivery, prime delivery next day, where I go buy a TV and before I reach home, or maybe by the time I reach home, my TV is also delivered in my house. So is inventory management also becoming a big technology, playing a big part, and which will change, reshape the format of the store?
See, yes, see, in our case, and lot of, see, we were on a very thin margins. So for us, inventory keeping cost is very high. I always says that our product is more perishable than the F&B. Why? Because in F&B, you know when it is going to get managed. But in our case, you don't know. There is a product, there is a mobile, it's been launched by somebody, say at 50K, and tomorrow somebody else launch the same spec at 40K. The 50K literally become obsolete. So that inventory management is very important. So it's very important to know that how many of that 50K product I can keep with me and how efficiently I keep it with. How many of them should be in probably Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad. So it's very important to do that study, that how to optimize the inventory. Technically for me it's perishable, that's why I am optimizing. But with every category, be it like Manyavar or you talk to anybody, they can't have same Sherwani 50 units lying across the country because fashion changes. So for us, that's very important in terms of the inventory management. Second thing, I personally feel it's a bubble that people believe that I need a mobile within 10 minutes of my buying. I don't know when you really like, do you need a mobile within 10 minutes? How that it make a difference? It's coming in 10 minutes or 3 hours. You are driving towards your office, you bought a TV. Why you bought it at 10 o'clock? Why you need at 12 o'clock at your home when you are going to reach 9 o'clock in night? It's more important to put efficiency into it. Can I deliver it properly, or can I deliver if you have selected a slot? I want this TV between 8 to night in 9. Can I make it sure it is been delivered between 8 to 9, then saying I will deliver in 1 hour. But if nobody is at home, what the delivery is going to help? Second thing, it's more important if I am delivering it, am I delivering it with a complete package? That somebody, I deliver it at 8:10, 8:15 somebody is there to install it, 8:20 somebody is there to connect it with your home system. So the efficiency of technology, I think it's a like, I do agree, like if you are starting some cooking, you need something missed, you need immediately. But how many times you really get your complete grocery and imagine within 10 minutes I get that? I don't know, like it's more of the planning. Same with electronics. I don't know how many times we really need it. So it's more of putting the technology to make it more effective than quicker.
Coming to you, Arif, you represent a category which is, as Manyavar, is a category, in my opinion, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, is something which is not in my daily, or my regular, I won't say daily, but regular shopping list of any customer's journey. It's a very pre-decided linked to a specific occasion or a date. Typically linked to a date or an occasion. And why do you need such big stores? And you said, because before coming into this panel, you're telling me, we were having this conversation, and you're saying we are really, really going large, extra large with the stores formats. Like from a 2,000 square feet store is going to evolve to a 10,000 square feet stores. So what are you seeing in the future in 2000 till 2030 that occasion when the whole world is going more casual? Did you seeing that which making you prompt to big larger stores?
When you talk about occasion wear, first of all, we are very crystal clear that we are going to go big. Like you said, everybody is going towards casual. I don't agree with that. I think anything to do with India and Indians and any Indian category is going to grow for next 20, 30 years. The demographics is on our side. We are becoming an economic superpower. We are doing really, really well as a country. And once a country does well, the culture also propagates, you know. I have stores in New York where, you know, white people come and ask for sherwani because they have to, you know, attend a wedding. So I don't agree that this category is not going to grow. This category has just started. We are scratching the surface. I'll give you an example. We opened a store in South Extension, which was around 20,000 square feet. We felt it's too small. We have signed a 10,000 square feet store next door. So the productivity tells you that the demand is there. I mean, if we can say by gut feel, okay, casual is doing well. But I can see a lot of behavioral change. Many of you would have seen our advertisements where we say, "Taiyar hokar aiye, pehno apni pehchan." So there's a cultural shift, behavioral shift happening across the country, across the world. And we think that this category is going to grow for next 20 years as India grows.
Great. You know, taking from Arif to you, Vivek. Vivek, you represent a very large fashion house which has got multiple formats, multiple stores. And we've all seen that from the same brand, like from a Louis Philippe, you've got Louis Philippe Sport, LP Sport, Vanish and Women. There are multiple formats coming out from the same mother brand per se as well. How are you seeing the change? Like Arif is saying that the category itself is increasing. Like in the Indian ethnic wear category, which is becoming from a occasion buy to a more larger seasonal buy now, and it's becoming a larger format for them. Someone like having a 20,000 square feet store is large today for ethnic wear, and having another 10,000 square feet in the same sub-market. That means they believe that this market is growing in terms of exponential because of demographics, the people wanting to dress better. But I'm saying how both from a formal wear and a casual wear basis, how are you seeing this market? Because there are so many more brands. There are lots of international brands coming in as well. How are you seeing the change that's going to happen in this category, particularly formal wear and semi-formal wear category brands?
Sure. So just to give you some data, we talk about July 2022 versus July 2019. My Louis Philippe business grew by 67% over 2019. And as you know, Louis Philippe is primarily a formal wear brand, though we do have a 35% share in casual business, which is LP Sports. Van Heusen grew by 50%. So there are a couple of things which we have to understand. As rightly said by Sahil and Arif both, India is a very, very diverse demographic country. We have varied tastes. There are people who swear by formal wear. There are people who wants to patronize casual wear for their office wear. So as a function of which, you will see a spurt in this particular category. Now, also linking it with how the omni-channel bit is playing a role here. If you go to any Van Heusen store, we are actually playing into the future. We are saying the moment you enter into any Van Heusen store, you will have a 42-inch screen staring at you. You might be a person who won't have too much of idea on fashion. That screen will have a scanner who will be able to size you across all the body type. It will tell you by asking few simple questions, what will be the best fit for you, and hence recommend few styles for you. And then the line between digital world and physical world is getting blurred with every passing day. We definitely imagine a store which will have more digital interface than physical interface. We may like to combine the touch and feel experience of physical retail to online. We will enable consumer to immerse into the experience. And as a matter of fact, we are also opening up large format stores. This is not because space is in abundance or capex is in abundance or we have infinite capital. But if you look at the market is moving from a typical run-of-the-mill business store to experiential retail. I am opening 7,000 square feet store in Varanasi, opening 5,000 square feet store in Lucknow. We are exploring stores in Gorakhpur. So that's what India is all about, and we are trying to exploit each and every touch point by doing this kind of expansion.
Great, thank you so much, Vivek. Coming to you, Rahul. Rahul, you represent interesting development. You represent the metro corridors retail spaces, which is the newest thing on the transit system in Mumbai per se. When you go back and offer spaces now to retailers, I'm sure you have different sizes of spaces available, but metro being a very new concept in a city of Mumbai, and it's, the second line is just going to open up or is partially opened up. Are the retailers telling you that the space requirements is very different than what you had anticipated when you were planning this, the retail spaces at these stations?
Sure. Thanks, Pankaj.
Because keeping the future in mind, he's talked about delivery. Why do you need the phone right away? It can come in. Travel retail is saying, I can just do on a wall in an airport and put up my inventory. He's saying I need really large, which I'm sure a metro can't provide. So various formats of retail, but how's your change you're anticipating and what is likely to change in the next couple of years? Because these are, I presume, are long leases for spaces at the metro stations.
That's right. So I think I'll just like to take a step back for like 10 seconds and just try and explore what transit retail, what's happened in the last 10 years in transit retail, right? It's always been there in the form of dhabas. If you go to, say, at highways 10 years, 15 years ago. Now, if you go to the same highways, you see these completely established food courts. At railways, you would have these government-run or government-tendered vada pav outlets and samosa outlets. We've started seeing established brands coming on board as well. Same at airports. If you go to see Bombay Airport 15 years ago, and if you go to the airport right now, we exactly know the kind of brands that are there. So similarly, at every transit points, because overall as an ecosystem and overall as categories and subcategories of brands, there are just so many players that are coming in, giving the right kind of the product that the consumer wants. It's actually becoming easier for us to onboard brands at the transit retail system. Because in a way, it's actually catch them moving, right? If a person's going from point A to point B, there are about 6 or 7 things that actually everybody would want to have, right? From tea and coffee, like to beverages, basic snack items. It could be chaat, vada pav. We've got amazing established players already. It could be milk products, CPG. We've got big brands over there. So what happens is when these guys are transiting, either they're going home or they're going to work or they're going, to a certain affair. What happens is rather than going down on the highway or picking up a cake if you're going for a birthday party, the moment you start seeing these brands slowly establish at the metro station, it just starts making a lot of sense because overall the environment is quite premium. You don't have to cross roads. You don't have a lot of traffic here and there. There's not a lot of noise. You are in this premium ecosystem where you're getting what you want at the actual price that these brands are selling it at. So the questions that the brands ask us actually is, it's interesting because they actually opt for multiple outlets than going for 1 or 2 outlets. So, we would have brands in savories and we've got a amazing Momo brand here. They're going for 10, 15 outlets so that they're having a horizontal presence, which means that no matter where the customer or the prospect consumer gets down at, they make sure that they're seeing this brand and eventually they're going to consume. So yes, some brands do require larger space, like we've got Peter England right here. We've got Peter England at line 1. Sometimes the intent is not to sell, but also it's just brand presence at a premium line like this, which kind of sometimes makes sense rather than doing a hoarding ad. Here you have an experience outlet of 200 square feet where people actually transiting could try a product and are seeing, like 6 lakh people are seeing the brand every single day. So from that angle, it makes sense. And as far as the size is concerned, this entire ecosystem is fairly new, so we are still figuring out what the sweet spot is in terms of the perfect sizing, because unlike the airport, there is category exclusivity here, right? So if I get a Starbucks, I cannot get a CCD. If I get a McDonald's, I won't be able to get a Burger King. So this ecosystem is work in progress. We are also trying to figure out what the sweet spot is, and we'll be there soon in the next 1 or 2 months.
Great. Coming to you, Fawaz, have HiLITE having put malls in a specific market, and I'm sure you're looking to develop more malls as well. How are you looking to see that the retailers' demands are changing, and particularly when you're doing fresh leasing now, are they asking for different formats of spaces? And whereas you've already created a mall, right? You can't change too much of the hardware. But how are you changing to adapt to the changing demands of the retailers now for the future?
Okay, so in the present mall, of course, the physical changes in the existing building is definitely, we have restrictions, but we can be flexible in terms of what the sizes of the store, or some minor changes can be done. But more important than that, as far as what we are doing, is that when we develop new malls, how we design that is very different. So we are having 8 malls in the pipeline now. So each of that is catering to different smaller towns, like tier 3 and even smaller, very smaller towns. And we are making malls which are very small, like starting from 3 lakh square feet, the mall that we are having now is around 13 lakh square feet. But we are doing new malls from 3 lakh square feet onwards, and 5 lakh square feet, that categories. So these are the towns where the population is much less, and the demand, these people are not having access to the other towns to come for the bigger malls. But we're introducing this new, this small experience to these people where they do not have access to that. So overall, it's getting new customers to this ecosystem of modern retail. So in this approach, again, the formula of anchors to vanilla stores and all that is very different. So like hypermarkets, example, I'm just saying that hypermarkets in these cities are still big. They are very large hypermarkets. Cinema theaters are large. Again, but fashion anchors may not be, fashion stores may not be like the CKs or Tommy and all that, but like more of, what do you say, like Zudio and Max and all those. Again, those would be larger. So the proportion of anchor stores are much larger, and that proportion is changing definitely. And this we are doing, we are aggressively going to new markets and all our smaller towns, and of course our proportions have changed a lot.
Great. Nitin, you represent a very different category, which is mostly, does extremely well because it's a very impulse buy. Nobody really thinks about walking up to the store and saying, I have to go today or only this day. Must be getting, it's a very, very high impulse buy. I don't see anybody who's walked past your store and not ended up buying something from your store. When it's such an impulse buy and you're dependent on such high volumes of traffic and location, you talked about before we came in for the panel, we were just chatting, and you said, when you looked at India first, you said, the company said, we'll look at the large format stores, which you typically do. I mean, in large format in your context of 2,000 square feet stores, and then you went down 2 different levels, and you went down to about 500-600 square feet stores, and you realized, no, it doesn't work, we need to go back. So can you tell us more? Because this is going to have a future bearing as well for you, right? That you try to innovate with the business model in terms of format, and you realize, no, the earliest possible format worked very well for us. Whereas Sahil and Arif are talking very different. Arif is talking about scaling up. Sahil is talking about doing the same scale, but he's also talking about doing a lot more smaller. Whereas Mr. Singh is talking about and saying, listen, I don't have a model. I don't have a sketch, but I will look at the opportunity and see what it can work for me. Like he's taken a wall, technically a wall with an 8 feet depth to do a store, which looks fantastic. But so what works for you, and why you're talking about and saying the original model always works and the future also will be about the original model?
So since mine is an impulse category, so when Mr. Singh was saying, and Sahil and Arif, so I agree with all of them. And I believe my category also work with the thoughts which they have. So when Mr. Singh is saying that he has done a store which is just a wall on the airport, so when I'm going, so right now I have a store which is in premium malls, say, then we are going to tier 3, tier 4, and we have stores on premium high street markets. But now we are not stopping here. What we are doing is, since we know we are an impulse category, it's not that we can only cater to these premium high street markets. What we are doing is we are going towards the neighborhood markets also. So when we are going towards neighborhood markets, what we are doing is we cannot have, say, 1500 square feet or 1800 square feet store size. There we are planning to do a smaller size store, which earlier we started doing in premium markets. We started doing 700, 800 square feet in premium markets, which now we have thought of doing in, say, neighborhood markets, which will, say, suffice the requirement of the customers who visit that market, say, every alternate day for their daily requirements. Now, if I come to, say, when Arif is saying that he's increasing the store size, yes, we are again increasing our store size. We are doing a store size of 1200 to 1500 now, which will give our customers a better experience. So when the better experience is there and when customer is out there for shopping, maybe they are not coming just for MINISO, they are coming to buy maybe a t-shirt or maybe a suit or maybe a sherwani. But then since our store attracts them and once they enter inside the store, and my conversion ratio is say more than 80%. So if I have a bigger store, it helps me in increasing my average ticket size. So I agree with Mr. Arif also, but that particularly will work with me in malls and premium high street markets. With Mr. Singh, I agree for say neighborhood markets. And with Sahil also, I agree. We are again increasing the store numbers. We are going to smaller towns because the kind of category which we have, everyone needs. And it's kind of very affordable. So going to smaller towns, we have our stores in, say, northeastern part of India. Therein we are doing, say, sale which is much higher than what we are doing in Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore. If I'll tell you a number, say, we have few stores in Northeast. I have a store in Aizawl. During, say, Christmas and New Year season, in December, it do more than 1 crore rupees. You will be amazed by the number. It's a smaller city doing 1 crore rupees. They have that taste which is not there in the, say, northern or south part of India. Whatever is slow moving, which is in north and south part, is picked up very fast in that part of India. So that's how, so what we are working is we are increasing the store size in those markets wherein we have better potential. And but to reach every customer, we are opening up stores in neighborhood markets also.
Great. For the paucity of time, we're not going to take any questions, but I would request the panelists to be there around. If anybody has anything specific to pick up, they can individually reach out to them. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I think what we've come to a conclusion is there is no stencil for the future. I think it's a lot about adaptability and different formats, trying to see how the market evolves for each of those categories and coming up and building their strategy for the future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen.